In this episode, the conversation on AI ownership continues. But before we get into that, in what can only bode poorly for our species' survival during the inevitable robot uprisings, an AI system has once again outperformed the people who trained it. This time, researchers at the University of Zurich, in partnership with Intel, pitted their Swift AI piloting system against a trio of world champion drone racers, none of whom could best its top time. Swift is the culmination of years of AI and machine learning research by the University of Zurich. In 2021, the team set an earlier iteration of the flight control algorithm that used a series of external cameras to validate its position in space in real time against amateur human pilots, all of whom were easily overmatched in every lap of every race during the test. That result was a milestone in its own right, as previously self-guided drones relied on simplified physics models to continually calculate their optimum trajectory, which severely lowered their top speed. Swift notched the fastest lap overall, beating the humans by a half second, though the meat sack pilots proved more adaptable to changing conditions during the course of a race. Drones have a limited battery capacity. They need most of their energy just to stay airborne. Thus, by flying faster, we increase their utility, Scaramuzza said. As such, the research team hopes to continue developing the algorithm for eventual use in search and rescue operations, as well as forest monitoring, space exploration, and in film production. For the rest of this story and more, visit Engadget.com. The U.S. Copyright Office, USCO, wants your thoughts on generative AI and who can, theoretically, be declared to own its outputs. The technology has increasingly commanded the legal system's attention, and as such, the office began seeking public comments on Wednesday about some of AI's thorniest issues via Ars Technica. These include questions about companies training AI models on copyrighted works, the copyright eligibility of AI-generated content, along with liability for infringing on it, and how to handle machine-made outputs mimicking human artists' work. The adoption and use of generative AI systems by millions of Americans and the resulting volume of AI-generated material have sparked widespread public debate about what these systems may mean for the future of creative industries and raise significant questions for the copyright system, the USCO wrote in a notice published on Wednesday. One issue the office hopes to address is the required degree of human authorship to register a copyright on otherwise AI-driven content, citing the rising number of attempts to copyright material that names AI as an author or co-author. The crucial question appears to be whether the work is basically one of human authorship, with the computer merely being an assisting instrument, or whether the traditional elements of authorship in the work, literary, artistic, or musical expression, or elements of selection, arrangement, etc., were actually conceived and executed not by man, but by machine, the USCO wrote. Although the issue is far from resolved, several cases have hinted at where the boundaries may fall. For example, the office said in February that the human-made text and layout arrangement from a partially AI-generated graphic novel were copyrightable, but the work's Midjourney-generated images weren't. On the other hand, a federal judge recently rejected an attempt to register AI-generated art, which had no human intervention other than its inciting text prompt. Copyright has never stretched so far as to protect works generated by new forms of technology operating absent any guiding human hand, as plaintiff urges here, U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell wrote in that ruling. The USCO also seeks input on increasing infringement claims from copyright owners against AI companies for training on their published works. Sarah Silverman is among the high-profile plaintiffs suing OpenAI and Meta for allegedly training ChatGPT and Llama, respectively, on their written work, in her case, her 2010 memoir, The Bedwetter. OpenAI also faces a class action lawsuit over using scraped web data to train its viral chatbot. The USCO says the public comment period will be open until November 15th. You can share your thoughts until then. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributors Andrew Tarantola and Will Shanklin and was produced by Spoken Layer. I'm Imran Sheikh, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.